reading, learning, thriving, creating, while building, living, thinking, healing, loving, building, writing while black.
Writing While Black. I am Angela and I will be your host today, and we are joined by the wonderful, magnificent Kelly Morgan, author, publisher, and advocate for writers, advice giver for writers, podcaster, YouTuber.
Yeah, I guess all of it. Yeah, somebody who's just incredibly passionate about helping people get their words out there. I believe everybody has a story. Everybody has a story, right? And everybody's story is important. I read a statistic where 6 out of 10 adults want to write a book. So
I believe it. I believe it.
But most do not because they don't know how, or they think it's hard or expensive. And that's just one of the things that my platform is about, is helping you get your words out there. Even if it's just for you or just for your family or just to have your legacy in a written form. Let's get your words out there.
Is there anything else that you wanted to say about yourself to set the stage as we're getting started that I didn't mention or that I fumbled?
No, that's just it. Author, publisher, indie author, advocate, and community builder, right? Let's put it that way. Really just wanting us to come together as indie authors and help one another rise up, because the waters out here are scary. It can be very lonely and it can be very overwhelming. I've been there. From somebody who has been there and done that, it's my personal thing that if I can help you avoid any of those pitfalls, then let's do it. That's what I'm all about. When I first started my writing journey and I wrote my very first book, You Sound White, I was so excited about this book. I'll show it to you. I was so excited about this book.
Cute!
I was so excited about this book. When I wrote it, I didn't know anything about the indie world. I didn't know anything about the publishing world. So I started pitching it to publishers and to agents, and I got a ton of no's. Lots of no's. But I got this one yes, right? I got this one yes from this publisher, and he completely gassed me up and told me that this book was great, and I was just going to be this great author, and we were going to go on tour, and we were going to do all of these wonderful things. They even helped me find a cover. They told me they were going to send it through an edit and all of these things. And this went on for about a week. And then the second week, he comes to me and says, okay, Kelly, now how many books are you going to buy? And I was like, well, what do you mean? Aren't you the publisher? And he's like, yes, but I've made a substantial financial investment, but I need you to at least buy the books $700. Are you going to let that stand between you and your dream? And I was like, no. So I ponied up my $700. I did. I didn't know any better. Nobody told me. I ponied up my $700, and I never saw any books. And shortly after that, he just completely ghosted me. He had my book because he had it published on his platform. Then he also had my $700. So no book, no nothing. And he just stopped communicating with me. I would go to Amazon and I could see the book on Amazon on his publishing platform, but I never got any royalties or anything. Nothing. I was devastated. And I think more than anything, I was ashamed, because I had told everybody what a great author. I had made it. Y'all can't talk to me, can't tell me nothing. I've arrived, right? So when this happened, I didn't know what to do. I didn't do anything for a long time. I cried a lot, right? But I didn't say anything to anybody because I'm like, I feel stupid. So one day I reached out to literary attorneys. I didn't know what to do. And they all basically said, you're nobody. You can't even remotely afford us. But one attorney actually called me and said, look, you're unknown. Nobody knows who you are. I'm very expensive, but I'll tell you what. You sound like you're a nice girl. I feel sorry for you. Here's a template for a cease and desist. Send it. Use my name. Just send it to him. See what happens. So I did. And about 2 weeks later, Amazon released the book. And I had the book back. Right? But I still didn't know what to do. I had the book back, but, this whole indie thing sucked. Okay? So I stopped. That that nagging to be an author just was always there, right? So I relaunched. I decided that I was going to publish myself. So I learned all about publishing, went into this rabbit hole, and decided I was going to. I have a business degree, I have an MBA, I know how to run a business, right? So I thought, okay, I'm going to start a publishing company, and I'm going to publish me. The reason why it's called Bright Headed Publishing, because Kelly means bright-headed. I Googled it. That's what Google told me. So, Bright Headed Publishing, right? So I launched, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna launch, and I'm gonna be my personal mission to stop anybody from getting scammed, and I'm just gonna come up with this podcast, and I'm gonna help authors. I'm gonna promote other authors. And you know what, Angela? That's all I did for a whole year. I recorded about 100 authors on my podcast called PHB Patio Book Club, but I didn't do anything for me. So I burnt myself out. I had no strategy. I had no plan. I was just out here, right? And so I stopped again. I just couldn't do it anymore. And I'm like, okay. And then COVID came. We started eating our feelings. I'm dealing with not only, I don't know what to do, but now I'm depressed. I'm eating. I've ballooned up to 275. And I'm just writing. I'm somebody who writes through their pain. I have a lot of bad poetry when I'm depressed. I write through my pain. And I started just writing, and I ended up writing what turned out to be my second book called Wait For It. I wrote this one. And this was not meant to be a book. It was just me writing about the things that were in my head. And it turned out to be a story. It turned out to be fiction, although a lot of things that happen to the character in the book are me, right? And I noticed that when I read the book to my daughter, that the character doesn't have a name. Throughout the whole book, this woman does not have a name. And there's a reason for that, because I felt that she could be anybody. I can't be the only person struggling with body image and weight loss. I can't be the only person who yo-yos back and forth. I can't be the only person who tries every single fad out there. If it made a promise of weight loss, I was gonna buy it. With no intention of ever doing it. But if I bought it, it gave me like, you're doing the right thing, Kelly, because I'm gonna buy it, and then I'm never gonna take these pills, I'm never gonna drink this liquid, I'm never gonna do these exercises. But my mind is weird, right? So I buy it thinking that I'm gonna do it, because they pull on your emotional strings on those infomercials, on those weight loss things, right? They make you promises. Take these pills, 6 weeks, you'll be a whole new person. It doesn't work. So the book is about the messy middle of weight loss, the fanatical working out, the self-sabotaging, the binging, all of that we don't talk about. That's what the book's about. So I wrote that book. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to relaunch Bright Headed again, but this time I'm going to put some strategy around it. I'm going to put some intention around it. I'm going to put boundaries, and I'm going to have a focus of branding and really something that's going to build and have longevity. January of 2025, I relaunched Bright Head Publishing. I relaunched You Sound White, put a new cover on it, did a new edit, relaunched it. I did an audiobook of Wait For It, launched it, and then relaunched Bright Head Publishing with building the platform to not only help others, but help myself, and build a platform where we could have longevity and strategy and intention. So that is where I am right now. I am still in the building phase of Bright Headed Publishing. I want to build the infrastructure, because when I do start to actually take money from people and charge for whatever I'm going to offer, I want to be able to offer value. I want to be able to give you something in return. I don't want to just take your money and make promises. Been there, done that. Okay? Don't want anybody to ever feel like that if I can avoid. I want to help authors of color because we're underrepresented in this space. And I want to help us build a community. But I want to help all authors. But I call us out because we're underrepresented. A lot of these spaces that they say are for us aren't really for us, right? I mean, so How do we do that? We come together, we build a community. We are powerful in our own rights. We're powerful by ourselves. But if we come together as a community, we are unstoppable. That is my passion, Angela. That is why I'm sitting here in front of you. Not to sell a, yeah, and don't get me wrong. I'd love to sell a book or two. Don't get me wrong. But that is not my main motivation. My main motivation is to build a platform to help other authors be able to not only get your book out there, but once we get it out there, let's get it to the right people. Let's put it in the hands of who really needs it. Let's not just be out here marketing willy-nilly. Let's really figure out who your audience is, and then how do we get the book to the people that really need to hear it? How do we get your book to somebody who's going to appreciate your words? That is what Bright Headed Publishing is all about.
Beautiful, excellent. So let me.
It's a lot.
Woo, that was a lot, but it was very beautifully said. Well said, well said. Okay, so go back to the scam You Sound White. What year was that?
You Sound White was probably, I want to say 2018,
Okay.
2019.
Okay.
I had just left my corporate job. I had started my own business with a partner, and I had time to sit and write this book because I wasn't working a 9-to-5 anymore. I had left the corporate world and was doing my own thing as an entrepreneur, something totally different. Wasn't even thinking about having a publishing company at that time, but I did know that Stephen King was going to have competition with this book, right? I was going to come out, Oprah was going to be like, oh my God, girl, let's make a movie. You are it. Tyler Perry was going to be like, I'm coming to you for the next script, girl. That's how good this book was in my mind. Nobody could tell me nothing. So when he took it from me, I figured out that I'm very naive. I know nothing about the publishing world. People honestly want to take money from you and give you nothing in return. Shock, shock. I was
like literally take from you and
Take
give
from
you
you.
nothing
Give
but
you
grief.
nothing, right? And so I didn't even, but again, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I didn't have anybody to ask. What I knew about the publishing world is what I had saw on television and in movies, right? You write a book, you pitch it, they say yes, publisher takes you on. Next thing you know, you're on book tour and you're signing stuff and you're on the New York bestseller list and it's all good. And that's what I thought it was, only to learn that that's nothing like it is.
I've heard about these scam publishers. When I researched, I saw them, but you're the first person that I've ever spoken to who went through that experience. I've spoke to one person who was with a publisher that they felt like they didn't get the value for their money, but they got something. It just wasn't what they felt that they should have gotten. You're the first person who I've heard of. So I was curious about the timeline, just in terms of as independent publishing became more and more popular, more of those demons were out there trying to take advantage of people. So I was curious about that.
You know what's really funny is that for a long time I just never said who it was, right? I just never said who it was. But the name of the publishing company was called Inside Edge Publishing. They're no longer in business. This dude was out of Texas. And what was even more disheartening, this was a black man who gassed me up. I was just absolutely devastated. It didn't make me bitter. It made me lean in even more to us in this space. I could have went the opposite and been bitter and whatever, but that won't serve me. That does not serve me. And so I've leaned in even more. I have been in this space for a little while, and I'll be 100%. Haven't been that, black women have not been that welcoming of me, right? You know, been almost dismissive. And that's cool. If that's your vibe, that's you. I know that I will get to the right people, right? The right people who are with my vibe, who want to build a community, who want to really build up and uplift one another. I will connect with those people. The ones who are dismissive, it is what it is. Again, those things never make me bitter. They make me lean in more, right? Because my goal is to prove you wrong. You know, sis, if you want to be out there alone in this world, go for it. Do you. I never want to tell anybody how to move, but I will tell you this. We are powerful together. than we are out here backbiting whatever by ourselves.
Black people, we're community oriented, we're relationship oriented. We really thrive and do better when it's us together.
I agree.
I'm a community builder. I don't know if you know anything about astrology, but my son sits in Aquarius's house. I'm always thinking about community building, how to support people. I heard you say that you have had some experiences with black women where you don't really feel that great about it. But I also heard you say that you were passionate about building community. I'm curious about what support you have gotten and what community you've been able to build in your work, and like what your support system looks like, if you feel like you have a support system at the moment.
Well, like I said, Angela, I've been really out here as a solo creator building on my own. I don't know yet. Being a new creator in a new space, and when you're out here on these platforms, if you're going by likes and views and all that, well then I would say I'm still in the building phase, right? I don't have a bajillion followers. There was an instance where I was on Facebook and I was looking at a group, and this one author wanted to barter, right? And I'm all about bartering. Let's figure out how we can help one another. But because I didn't have the subscriber base that she was looking for, I didn't have enough followers, I didn't have enough whatever, it was like, no. And see, that to me, you're not chasing collaboration, you're chasing visibility, right?
Chasing clout. Let's use that alliteration. You chasing clout. Yeah.
So my thing is if you're gonna barter or collaborate, it doesn't matter if you have 10 subscribers or 1,000. It only takes one person, right, to read that book and make a recommendation to the next person, right? It only takes one. It only takes one person to make an impact. And if my book got to one person and they wait for it and be like, damn, I so relate. Oh my God, you helped me. That to me is worth it. It doesn't even matter to me how you got the book. Did you buy it? Did somebody give it to you? Did you find it? I don't know. I mean, that is not the end all for me. That is not the end goal. The end goal for me is to actually help people get their words out there. Let's build a community. Let's figure out how we do this together. Because even for you, Angela, I'm on your podcast. That's fantastic. Now, guess what? You can come on mine, right? And you can promote your podcast on my podcast, right? And I don't know how big my audience is. It may be bigger than yours. It may be smaller, but it doesn't matter. That's the point. The point is that we're out here collaborating with one another, helping one another, trying to figure out how we build the community. And I can't scream it any louder. I can't say it any differently. I've said it so many times. And the funny thing is I haven't had a lot of authors of color approach or want to be a part of the author's mic. I've had a lot of other authors approach me and beyond, and I'm happy to have anybody come on. And that's why even when I'm out here posting my content, I always try to call out us as a people. Yes, I'm here. I see you. Let's do it. How do we collaborate? How do we do this? That's what I'm all about. That's the brand of Brighthead, and that will not change. That will not change. But I would tell you, silence can be deafening. It can be a killer for a lot of indie authors when you think that nobody's listening or that nobody cares.
Absolutely understand and can relate to that. The reason I started the Black Writers Group, because we need each other. We benefit from each other. I come from a Mary Kay background. And what we used to say is, on the weeks when you don't want to come to the meeting, that's when you need the meeting. And on the weeks when you really want to come to the meeting, that's when somebody needs you. So no matter whether you're big or small or starting whatever, we're a community, and you can help somebody can help you. We all in this together. I'll tell you this, with the Black Writers Group, we're about 4 years old now. And there have been times when I had 20 people sitting around, and there have been times when it was me and my husband and my mom as a part of the Black Writers Group. And we just keep going. We just hold the space because, just like you, I know that I'm going to connect with the people who I'm supposed to connect with. And I am connecting right now with the people that I'm supposed to connect with. The passion for me for supporting Black writers and Black writing, we need it. Sometimes the reason that we're, in my opinion, I think that the devastation of being in a worldwide system of white supremacy has us really jacked up. It impacts our ability to love one another, to respect one another, to support one another, to connect with one another, and to behave as like the community-oriented human beings that we are. So that's why sometimes we see Black people scamming people, or, you know, like all of that craziness. I personally don't feel like that's our nature in this system. Some people, the way they handle the stress and the pressure, it shows up ugly. I'm just sending us all positive energy for growth and development and light and love and freedom.
I agree. The more that I dive into this space, the more that I find myself connecting with people like you, right? Who are into let's build a community and how do we do this, and I'm gonna hold the space and I'm gonna keep showing up no matter what, right? I'm gonna be consistent.
People have found their people, and it's very encouraging. Mm-hmm. I'm part of a Black romance writers group. The woman who facilitates it, Monique Fisher, who wrote Top for Teacher is one of her titles. She has others in her catalog. It seems like she has a whole crew, and they write together, and they just be so on track. I'm going to write a chapter today and a chapter tomorrow. We're writing 20,000 words together. It seemed like they got a real crew. My girl just published a book. Instead of feeling bitter and jealous, I'm just like, people are doing it, and I can do it too. I can find my people, and you finding your people, and the desire to be of service and to support other people and be a big sis. Like, hey, I've been there. I don't want you to have to go through that. You give it, it's gonna come back. It comes back.
I agree, and it's really funny because you don't think about that when you're out here doing your thing, right? You pour all of your soul and heart into some content, right? And you put it out there on social media and you get a view. So you're like, okay, this is what I was experiencing. I'm like, okay, I'm really not feeling social media. How do I get over this and still post the content? So I started what I call BTA, Breaking the Algorithm. Right, and I just launched that about a month ago.
I saw one of your little shorts on IG.
Yep, and I trademarked BTA. That is my trademark, Breaking the Algorithm. And so what that means is breaking the algorithm is just helping authors find different and unique ways to promote the book outside of social media. We're still going to use social media, but we're not going to be a slave. We're not going to chase trends. We're not going to chase views, and we are not worried about going viral. That is not what we are trying to do, right? We are trying to get our books into the hands of the people that really want to read our books, right? That's the end game. And so to do that, we have to maybe get out behind the screen and meet and engage with readers in other ways. There's a whole bunch of people who are not on Instagram. There's a whole bunch of people who are not on TikTok who would love to read your book.
It's been documented again and again and again, just like the worldwide system, it is anti-us. I was just having a conversation with a woman the other day. She posted a request in a group. I have open ad space on my website, and if it's not filled, I can take some ads. I reached out to, I do the anthologies, and I never thought about doing ads. The first publication that my husband and I did, he had ads in there for people, but I never thought about doing ads. That's evergreen content. He does it in his publication, his newsletter, which is now his author magazine. And I wanted to loop back because watching when he put his book out, he got so much positive feedback, and then it was like, it's gonna go out into the world, and this person is gonna be in the movie, and this is gonna happen, and all the money is gonna pour in, and we gonna build a house, and we've made it, baby, we've made it. And then crickets, and it's difficult managing expectations and managing the emotions that come when those expectations don't line up. So that was my next question. I've heard you say you stop and go, and it reminded me of yo-yo dieting, up and down and in and out. But I'm curious about what strategies you have for emotional management now, or if you've come across any that you try to implement as a writer and as a person.
On a daily. So let me tell you something. When you are out here doing this indie thing, in this space, trying to promote your book, promote your work, whatever, it can be daunting. It can be so overwhelming. It can be emotional. And especially when you feel like you're by yourself, because it's a very quiet space. You're alone, right? And if your only outlet is social media, well, that isn't good either. Number one, the person who I listen to first and foremost would be me, right? I sit with myself every morning. I meditate every morning for about 30 minutes. Sometimes if I can't get 30, 20, if I can't get 20, 15, whatever. But I sit with myself, see how I feel, see what the day is going to be like, see what's going on with me. I meditate to try to keep myself grounded. I have to. And another thing that I do is I'm a big proponent of affirmations. I record affirmations in my own voice and I play them back to myself every morning. I have about an hour's worth and I just play them. I don't, they're playing in the background. I just put on headphones and I play them until they're done. To hear myself tell myself, keep going, right? Keep going, Kelly. It's okay. Keep going. I am successful, whatever, really makes it motivation for me, right? And then some days, and the universe is funny because I'm not a religious person. I'm a spiritual person, right? And so I'm a big advocate of really believing in the universe, and what you put out there comes back to you. I just believe that. And there are some days where I've been like, man, I don't think anybody's listening. And then I'll get an email saying, hey, Kelly, I came across your book, or I saw your website, or I downloaded your guide, and I really appreciate you. Right? It's like, oh, really? I feel like somebody's listening. I had an author the other day, the very first one pitched our book club, because we have a book club that's dedicated to indie authors only. If you want us to read your book, you got to tell us about it. And I've been saying this. I've been screaming this into the void for weeks. Have had nobody pitch their book. And the other day I was like, you know what? I don't know if this book club thing is working. Man, I'm like, man, then guess what? I got an email saying, hey, Kelly, I saw a video. You said to pitch your book club. I'm pitching your book club. And I'm like, okay. So those moments for me, those little gems are great. But really, because I believe in what I'm doing, because I really want this to work, Angela, is why I keep going. And let me tell you something. There are some days where I'm like, I think nobody's listening. Sometimes I hate going on social media and I'll go on Instagram and it will be like 4 views. You're like, really? God damn it. That was a really good video. That was good. I watched it myself. I'm probably one of those views, right? Man, so you'd be like, this is good. Is this not good? And then I'll ask somebody, they're like, yes, Kelly, it's good. Well, then why doesn't it get to the right people? And somebody told me, because I'm a gardener. I'm a master gardener. I love to garden. And I know this, and I tell myself this all the time. When I plant a seed, I do not yell at that seed for it to grow. I do not yell at it. I do not go outside and stomp my feet. I do not scream. I simply water it every day and give it the attention that it needs. And I know without a doubt that seed will grow. I know this.
Hold on, wait. Let's keep with this metaphor, because if you plant that seed on concrete, or if you plant that seed in the middle of the road, it ain't gonna grow.
I like that.
You gotta plant it as much as possible in good quality soil.
Yes,
we gotta get to the
soil.
people who.
There you go. Yeah. So if we plant it right in the right places, right, and if we plant more than one. Got to plant more than one, because not all seeds grow. Okay? Got to plant more than one. So if we plant a garden out there, they will grow. And, if we nurture them and just do the right thing, that means just showing up, being consistent in the message and not wavering, right? I am not chasing likes, views, or trends. That is not why I'm on social media. I am on social media to reach those that are on social media that are interested in not only writing their book, but promoting their book and getting their words out there and building a community, getting with other authors and really learning more about your craft, learning maybe that you don't have to be subject to a certain genre, learning about all the things that you need to know. Maybe you want to learn about copywriting. I got a video. Maybe you don't know what a video kit is. I got a free template on my link tree. Maybe you don't know how to pitch a podcast. I got a template for you. Free content for authors. This stuff is free. This is stuff that I have taken my time to actually put together, which is not easy, people. Let me tell you something. And put it out there for you to go download to help you. And it's not even that I want anything from you. You don't even have to ever come back.
It's an act of love and service. It's an
I'm
act of
just
love.
trying to help you. Right? I have a 44-page guide on my website called So You Want to Write a Book. It's not how to write a book, but when you go to write that book, all the things that nobody told me that I wanted to know are in that guide. The funny thing is all the information that I gathered is free, but some people will put it behind a paywall. So it's free, people. Go get it. Download
Go get
it.
it.
It's yours. It's
Right.
free.
And
You know?
you did gather the information, so that is a service. I do things and I do them because I love us and I want us to win. So
There's nothing more disheartening than somebody approaching me and offering me something and just making it sound so good and then wanting my money. That drives me. I hate free content behind a paywall. That irritates me to death. I hate that shit. Don't do that. I'm sorry. I hate that. So that's why a lot of the stuff I offer is free, because it's free info. Why would I charge you for it?
I am not advocating charging for stuff.
I
because
know-
if you
I know what
me,
you're saying. I
You
know what
me.
you're-
But there is a value. It's like
Yes.
I could sew something if I knew how to sew, but I'm gonna pay you because you know I could do the research if I wanted to take 29 hours and 3 years to get the experience. But you've already gathered it, so there is some value to
You're
it.
right.
Sometimes when people see something is free, they think that there's no value to it.
That's
And
true.
sometimes when people see that costs this much money, it must be valuable, and it doesn't always line up. But because of the world we're in, we get confused and we don't understand something's value outside of the money system.
Oh my God, that's so true. And I'll tell you, Angela, there's a method behind my madness. The reason why so much of my content is free is because I'm building the platform and I'm building the trust. So when I do...
You're a relationship person.
Right. So when I do start charging for services and offering stuff, it won't be an issue because you know whenever I offer you, there's going to be value. So if you pony up your $15, you pony up your pennies, I guarantee you're going to get something of value when you do purchase from me. And that is why I'm building the infrastructure. Could I take your money today? 100%, 100%. But I don't feel good about it because I want to make sure that when I do take your money, you're going to get something of value in return. That is how business should be done. That is how I am going to do business, and that is why this company is going to be successful. I've already said, Bright-Headed Publishing, let me just put it out there for anybody who's listening. I've already determined, I've already decided this company is going to be successful. This company is commune building, and that we are going to get...
One affirmation girl from another. This company is already successful. It is successful now. Instead of putting it in the future, put it in the present. It's already succeeding. You're already succeeding right now. You're blessing people. You're being blessed. It's right now. Right now.
Thank you. And
Yes.
sometimes you got to hear it from somebody else, because I know sometimes I get tired of hearing it from me. I'd be like, come on now.
Challenging out here. But we're finding our match. We're finding our match.
It may take a minute for somebody to actually find you.
Right.
But when they do find you and your words resonate, then they'll stick around and they'll probably tell a friend, hey, I saw Angela's podcast and man, you gotta listen. And now you got another listener. And that person, so forth and so on. So that's how we build a community.
When it was the whole payola system and we couldn't get on the radio, we was taking them out of the back seats of our cars, out of our
Right.
trunks, and person to person. And that's where we thrive in person-to-person relationships that we can control. We have the illusion in those systems. When I first started YouTube, this was years ago, I came across something that said if you put out a video every day, your channel is going to be successful. Girl, I put out a video 2, 3 sometimes in a day for over a year before I was like, if you tell me what to do, I'm going to do it. But I had to understand universally, and I've definitely learned this, I might put a flyer up and not get any response from that flyer, but the energy, the message that I said to the universe is I'm looking for people. So somebody might come from another source, and I've seen that happen time and time again. So yeah.
Angela, one of the things I always tell myself is, the motivation will get you there, but the consistency will keep you there. Be consistent in anything that you do. When I'm out here talking about my books, talking about the platform, ultimately, I just want people to understand what Brighthead Publishing is all about, why I do what I do. I think if you can understand why people do what they do, you have a better understanding of, okay, I get it. My books, my writing, not for everybody, but if you are somebody who is looking to get their words out there, if you are looking for information, tips, or tricks, if you do want to be a part of the community, if you do want to come on the Author's Mic, if you do want to join the book club, connect with me, right? We can always figure out ways that we can collaborate. It could just simply be, I just needed somebody to vent to. I just needed somebody to whatever. Like I said, when we are out here doing these things, it can be very lonely sometimes. So when you do get the opportunity to connect with others, it is just so, I can't even put it into words. You have no idea how happy I am right now that we are actually connecting, because we scheduled this a long time ago. When I actually get to come on podcast and tell my story and share my message, it makes me happy, because one person, if that is you, and I've resonated with you, well then, you know what? Your work, Angela, is done, right?
Listen to you as the reader of Wait For It.
Did you listen to the audiobook?
I listened to the audiobook and I loved it. I got a little review of it on Instagram.
I saw it.
Oh, that's because I listened to
part
it.
Fantasy, part whatever, part. I was like, is it fantasy?
Right. These days, I'm very, very anti-genre, because I'm trying to put people in a box and tell them how they're supposed to tell their story. Everybody is different. Everybody's story is different. Say it how you gotta say it. Say it how you want to say it. I loved the concept of the story, like where it went. I loved the journey. I love that it was your voice, because there's something about an author voice, different kind of energy. It's a different kind of story. My husband asked me this morning, well, who are you interviewing? And I said, the woman who wrote Wait For It. And he's like, oh, again? Because I listened to it so long ago. I was walking by and he heard and he was really into that. I'm more the relationship, but he, so he was really like, oh, like so excited about that.
You know what's really funny is I was on another podcast, and the podcast was more about body image. She was talking about Wait For It, another podcast called Imperfect Adulting. In the book, the character has an issue with riding a horse. She can't get on the horse, she's too heavy. That's a real thing, by the way. It's a real thing. Amy had told me that they were going on a family trip to the Grand Canyon, and they were going to ride burros down the canyon, like the Brady Bunch. I'm dating myself, right? For months, her husband was having anxiety about being able to get on this burro being too heavy. And I was like, really? For a man? She's like, yes. She goes, he didn't tell anybody. He just sat with that. For months, he was secretly dieting so that he could lose the weight to get on this horse, right? To get on this burro. And it just made me realize that, man, that's a real thing for people. And I didn't even know that it was a real thing until it happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever thinks I'm too big to ride a horse, right? But yes, y'all, you can be too big to ride a horse. And it's very disheartening. I was in Costa Rica last week and we rode horses, right? I went for my birthday. Thank you for listening to Wait For It. I'm glad you liked it because, like I said, when I wrote it, it didn't start off being a book. It really was me writing through my pain. I'm reading it. I'm like, man, this woman's got some issues, right? And so it dawned on me that, man, this woman is me. This woman is me. I am always the before, never the after, right? And so I started writing these things down until it just broke out into this story. It's very close to me, very, very close to me, because that's basically what I went through. You read me, basically, in that book.
It's beautiful, and it was authentic, and it was real because it wasn't anybody else's story. It's not like anything else, and I just really appreciated it. I'm really happy that you wrote it, and I was so happy about the audio in your voice. I listened to it on either Libby or Everand. How did you get there?
So what I did for the audiobook, first thing I did was the only audiobook platform that I even knew about was Audible, right? Which is a part of Amazon. In order for your book to be on Audible, it has to be on Amazon. So Wait For It sat on Amazon for about 3 years because I wanted to do an audiobook. So I didn't market it or anything. I went back and forth. I tried to record it myself using Odyssey, and it just wasn't good. I'm not a good editor, right? It was very time consuming, and I just frustrated myself. Then I thought, ooh, I'm gonna use AI voices. But I didn't like the way that they sounded. I thought, you know what? I'm gonna go find a recording studio and do it myself. I found a woman-owned studio, the studio in her basement, right? She basically helped me record this book. I would go to her house like every week or whatever, and it wasn't cheap, but we did it over time, right? I did it because it was a short book, so I could afford to put it on audio the way that I wanted to. Once I got it all done, I put it on Audible. From Audible, there's another place called Findaway Voices. Findaway is a website that you can go list your audiobook, and it will blast it out to everything else.
Good. Thank you for...
It was daunting. You know what? I have never listened to the audiobook. Well, I recorded it. I listened to it every day as we recorded it. I'm not going to go listen to it again. My daughter just told me she listened to it, and she said she loved it. So thank y'all. Thank you so much.
Everybody should listen to it. That's the beauty of indie authors. One of the things when I first got on YouTube that I really loved is that there were so many people with so many voices and ways of moving that would have never gotten through the gatekeepers. It was so beautiful because it was people being people. I really appreciate that. How would they even know how to handle it?
Well, and then somebody asked me, like, what genre do I write? And what genre is the book? And I don't know. I don't have a genre. I just write what's in my head. Like right now, I am working on a children's book because I don't have a genre, right? I just write. I just like stories. So I feel like if I said I'm a romance writer, then the expectations that I always write romance, and I don't think I write good romance. Somebody told me to write erotica, and I was like, I don't know if I could because I think I would be giggling through the whole thing, right? That's just not me. I don't have a genre. I don't want a genre. I'm just gonna write stories as they come into my head because I love a good story.
Yeah. And that's like, I feel like a good story is a good story. Okay, so you mentioned that you're working on a children's book. What is your writing process and how has it changed? And I wanted to say this to Ayoka last week when we were talking, but a writing process could be I just write when I feel like I want to write. Or it could be I spend at least a half hour every day working on my project or whatever. So what is your writing process and how has it changed over time? Has it changed?
It's funny. I don't think I have a writing process, but I guess I do. I always start writing in my head. I'm always writing in my head because I always have a story. And so I will literally write stuff down. I have so many notebooks of just stuff I've written. And because I'm a singer, not professionally and not good, but I sing always. I tend to sing a lot. I have a lot of things in my phone that are recorded that are songs. I guess it's part of my writing process that I will write down, right? Because I want to remember them later. So when I started writing the children's book, it came to me as a song. I'm over just in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, you know that, huh? And so the next thing I know, I'm like, I got a full-blown, that's a book. So I started writing it down, right? Just started writing down the highlights, because when I see stories, they're movies in my head. And so I have to write to catch up with the dialogue, because they're just talking, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get that down. What they say, and it's almost like I'm just watching a movie. So I don't know if I have a process. I have paper and phone, and I tend to just write things down, and then they'll come together in some type of weird way. I haven't written another book since this one. Have I written a bunch of stuff? Yes. Do I have a bunch of original songs in here that nobody will ever hear? Yes. Do I sing in my kitchen all the time? Yes. Do I make up rhymes constantly? Yes. That is my writing process. I'm just weird like that, I guess. So,
It's not weird. It's just you.
do I like write every day in 30 minutes and no, that's never. I've always been somebody when I'm really happy and up. That's when I tend to write the least. Right? Writing was always a way to get through whatever I'm going through. Writing was always an outlet for pain. As I said, high school, I've got some bad poetry. Oh my God, you're like, what is going on? As an adult, I've got some bad poetry. Oh, what? Never published this stuff, you know? And so I am somebody who just writes through their pain. So I don't write when I'm happy. So I don't write every day. I don't have it. You know, I'm an author, but I'm an author up here. When I actually put it on paper, that's a whole nother process for me, because now I've got this story that I've got to slow down so I can get it on paper, especially the dialogue. Dialogue is hard to write. You can speak it, but when you go to write it, it's not quite the same. The children's book was a little easier because it was a cartoon in my head, then I just wrote it down. I'm working with an illustrator because it won't work without pictures. And I don't think anybody wants to see my stick drawings because they're not good. So I'm working with an illustrator, and the process is so foreign to me. I did not know what it would take to take what's in my head, convey it to you as the illustrator, and you got to put it on paper. That has been a really interesting process for me, because I'm just thinking you should be able to just draw it, right? And they're like, no, there's a lot more to it, Kelly. What do you want on the page? How much is going to be on the page? Where are the words going to be? I'm like, oh my God, this is turning into a lot more than I thought it was, but I am enjoying the process.
That's good. What about the other side of writing, reading? What has been your relationship with reading, and what is your relationship with reading?
I love to read. I do. I love to read, but I haven't been very good about reading on a regular basis. I love a good story, so I listen to audiobooks. Right now, Octavia Butler. I was not familiar with her work, amazingly enough. I'm like, oh my God, how did she slip by me? I went into this Black-owned bookstore in Denver. She was asking me what I like to read, and I said, well, give me a recommendation, and she gave me Octavia Butler. I have just started diving into that right now, and phenomenal writer. The foreword was by LeVar Burton. I didn't even know she wasn't living anymore, so I feel like I've lost a whole boat on Octavia Butler. I love to read about real people, and that's funny. I like documentaries too. I like stories about real people, and I think the last audio biography that I read, and I've read it like 3 times, was Malcolm X. I could read that over and over and over and over again. And probably one of my favorite books, you guys are going to think I'm weird, is The Godfather by Mario Puzo. Probably one of the best books ever.
That's the one they made the movie about? Oh, I've never seen the movie, but Octavia Butler, her parables, I had read everything she had written, but I loved her parables. So I had read those on repeat. My ancestor Butler, when she made her transition, I was like, what am I going to, and I was in a bookstore, and a book said the next Octavia Butler, and it was Tananarive Due. And so
Okay.
I had read her Immortal series, which I really, really loved, and wanted to read her other stuff, but it's kind of horror-y, so I was like, But I just finished her, The Reformatory a couple books back.
You know, and when I was younger, like in high school and stuff, you know, back in the day, everybody was reading Stephen King. So I had read all his stuff up to a certain point. And then, because I love a good summer read and I like mindless reading, for a while there, I had this little phase with Jackie Collins because I love a good smut novel, and she was the queen of that stuff. Mindless, easy reading, not a lot of thought, just whatever, right? And my mom used to read those Harlequin romance books. Remember those? Oh my God, horrible. But read a couple of those too when I was younger. Now that I'm older, I tend to listen to audiobooks a lot. But I find myself really kind of listening to more podcasts than reading books. For the book club, whatever book we decide to read, I will definitely read it, but it's got to be an indie author, right? It's got to be somebody who's unknown, who has to read their book. The nice thing is that if you do pitch the book club, we'll all buy your book. Exactly the reason why I have a book club, because I went through that. Pitching book clubs, getting crickets, stuff. I am the type of person where I don't beg for a seat at the table. I just build my own, bottom line. So guess what? We have a book club. Pitch us. I'm interested. We're looking for a book right now. We just finished. Wait for it. We just finished it. Pitch us. And then y'all should join the book club too.
Yeah, right now my book club is Writing While Black. Every author that comes on, I read their work.
Bro, that's a good thing that when they come on, you're reading their book. And I'm sure that they appreciate it, right? So yeah. But when you do have an indie author on and they are looking for a book club, tell them to pitch the book club. We're looking for a book right now to read.
How do indie authors pitch your book club? What is the
Well,
process?
go to my link tree. My link tree has everything on it. And basically, you just give us the name of your book, the information, and we'll just put it to a vote. That's really all you got to do. There's not nothing to it, right? But you got to give us the basic info, right? So we can go and check it out. Same thing if you want to be on the author's mic. Go to the link tree or go to my website. There's at top says be a guest. Give me some basic info. Say you want to be on and you're on. And you can pitch and talk about whatever you want. Your book, poetry, if you want to read a snippet, if you want to give some information, whatever. The whole idea is that that's your time. The mic is yours. I'm just going to be quiet and promote yourself. That's why it's called the author's mic. You know, the mic is yours. I'm going to hand it to you. Do your thing.
Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we haven't talked about? Any question you wanted me to ask that I haven't asked?
No, I think we covered it all. You talked about my books. We talked about my platform. I got the author's mic. I got the book club. I got BTA Breaking the Algorithm every Friday across all platforms. Author's mic guest is on Monday across all platforms. Wednesdays are just tips and tricks, or I might just give you some information about whatever. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm running little small shorts. That's everything. If connect with me, support me. I'm selling the books myself, which is a step out on faith. I'm offering the print copies of the book. I'll ship it to you for free, and I'll sign it. My daughter made some beautiful bookmarks, and I'll give you a free bookmark. Or you're welcome to go to any platform and purchase the book from wherever you want. But, you know, I'll ship it to you for free, and I'll sign it, give you a bookmark. You know?
Why would you go somewhere else when you could get the author signature, the author's energy, the bookmark?
That's something new that I started doing. My goal for Bright-Headed Publishing is 2026, January 1, 2026. We'll be launching all of our services. We're a publisher, but we offer publishing services. I'm not a traditional publisher. I ain't got it like that, y'all. One day pockets will be deep enough, but today not deep enough. So publishing services, marketing, a la carte, things like that. From now until the end of the year, I'm still in the building phase, but happy to connect with anybody. If you just want some information, if you just have a question, if I can help you, I will, right? I'm more than happy to do that. January 1, digital products, paid services. The whole platform will be up and open to other authors. And the goal is to launch this and see what we can do in 2026.
During your time as an author, are there any experiences that you've had marketing where you're like, wow, I'm surprised that that worked, or where you kind of stumbled into something that was effective or heard something in terms of getting the word out about your work?
Two things I've learned about marketing. Giving stuff for free builds trust. Discounts build urgency. So in the whole marketing realm, I have found that doing more things where we're not relying on the internet to connect with readers has been more successful. I have been more successful with my email campaigns. Those are people who obviously want to hear from me, right? I control the email. I have been successful in doing book signings, which book signings are scary because if nobody comes, you're kind of like nobody showed, but they're well worth it. Even if you don't sell a book, you're still connecting with a potential reader. Just being in front of people has been a game changer, right? And then I have really been trying to do podcast, which is new for me this year. I have a podcast. I know how to do a podcast. It's different when you're pitching podcast. I've actually been doing some summits as well. So I say that when you're marketing your book, you have to be in the process that you're marketing yourself. As the author, people want to know you. They want to know the story. They want to know the why. They want to feel something with you. So you market yourself. That's why I tell people, when you're out there marketing, go beyond the books. If I'm marketing to you, if I'm talking to you and I'm an author and you're an author, and we're both out here trying to market our books, maybe I don't have anything to offer you in the book realm, but maybe I'm really good at Excel. And you're really good at Canva. And we can barter and trade services. That's marketing, right? I'm always marketing the books, but I'm always marketing the brand. It's more important. And so I would say, as an author, if you're going to be out here marketing, first and foremost, regardless of what you're going to do, be consistent. Make the message consistent, whatever that message is, and then take it from there.
How did you build your mailing list?
The podcast was a great way because you are going to be on the podcast. I would obviously need your email address. That's how I started building the mailing list. But if I was a new author and I was trying to build my mailing list, well, first I would start where I'm at. I would go to my friends and my family. Hey, you guys, I'm going to start emailing. Is it okay if I email you? So I would start where I'm at. You start there, right? And then as an author, you should have a landing page or a website. If you don't, you are missing the boat. Because then you can direct people to there, and that's how you start gathering email. And it's okay if you only have 10. You got to start somewhere. I started with one. It was my sister. Can I email you about my book? Sure. Go to your coworkers. Hey, you guys, I wrote a book. I'm going to start a newsletter. Is it okay if I email you? Most time when people say yes, they want to hear from you. And then when you do email people, do not spam them. Once a month is enough, right? It's enough. But that's something that you control outside the algorithm. So now we're breaking the algorithm. You're connecting with people who want to hear from you. I would say email is slept on because everybody's all about social media. It's funny, I put out a video on TikTok. Like you, I follow instructions too. If you tell me to do something, I'll go do it. So I saw this video saying if you're a new creator, lean into it and call it out. Okay, so I did. I leaned into it and I called it out. I'm a new creator. I got no likes. I got no views, but I'm still here. Some stuff like that. And on TikTok, all of the comments were trying to tell me how to fix that. Right? Well, go to this person or go to this or go do that or go to this or, go to, and it made me laugh. But somebody's watching, right? Somebody's watching. So it must be working. So my goal is to help you break that algorithm so that we can leverage social media and get your words out there.
My final question is, what is Writing While Black?
Writing While Black is being unapologetic for how I sound. Writing While Black is being authentic to my voice. And my voice isn't maybe what you consider to be a stereotypical black voice, whatever that is for you, right? My voice is Kelly's voice. And first and foremost, you know, it is Kelly's, and then you can call it whatever you want. That to me is me being authentic to me. You can call it whatever, you know, but I call it Kelly.
All right, Miss Kelly. Thank you so much for being our guest. I'm speaking for Ayoka.
This didn't even feel like a podcast. I felt like we're just on a FaceTime call having a conversation.
And we just kicked
I cannot wait to see this. Oh my God, I have so much enjoyed meeting you and talking to you. It is all good.
It's on and popping. It's mutual. It has been a pleasure, and I heard so much that I could relate to, and there was so much value here. We are happy to have you, even though Ayoka wasn't able to be here today. We're really excited and grateful that you are here on Writing While Black.
I am so thankful and grateful for you guys having the platform and allowing me to come share my story and share it with your audience.
Yay! I have my pen up, and audience, you're welcome to get your pen up. When you leave here, go on and start writing. I invite Miss Kelly to get her pen, but we gonna sign off, and we gonna go right on. Peace!
Reading, learning, growing, creating, while building, living, thinking, healing, loving, building, writing while black, black, black.